number 5. The order. Order. The Honourable Gerry Brownlee, point of order.
Well, Mr Speaker, I'm just going to offer to respond to Winston Peters' question about what was the point of order.
Order.
But
Order.
the point of order simply, sir, was that he raised the past, the Prime Minister responded.
Sorry, settle down. Order. We've moved past that point of view, Mr Brownlee. Neither were Gerry very good points of order. They are matters for debate, and there will be a general debate tomorrow. Question number 5, the Honourable Annette King.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question to the Minister of Health. Did district health boards receive enough funding in 2016-17 to meet all demographic, wage and inflationary cost pressures? If not, what is the amount of the shortfall?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Jonathan
Mr
Coleman.
Speaker, demographic pressures for 2016-17 are fully funded, but of course we won't know until the end of the financial year whether inflation has been fully funded, but given the latest inflation figures, it's as good as covered. Since 2001, district health boards have been asked to make savings every year. For 2016-17, DHBs are expected to save a tiny 0.7 of 1% of their total massive $12.2 billion budget.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Annette King.
How much funding has been allowed in the DHB's budgets in 2016-17 to pay for improved working conditions for junior doctors and cover for senior doctors during the 2-day strike?
The Honourable Dr Jonathan
Well,
Coleman.
of course, that is all subject to ongoing negotiations, as the member well knows, and it is expected that DHBs will use funding within their very generous baselines to cover all pressures in the manners I've just described.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Annette King.
Does he stand by his statement that it's unacceptable if our junior doctors are working in unsafe conditions? If so, does he believe junior doctors are working in unsafe conditions, justifying their demand for a safer roster?
Two supplementary questions.
Well, of course, Mr Speaker, we're not going to do wage negotiations in Parliament, but I stand by all my statements.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Annette King.
If he believes a junior doctor's job is, quote, tough, why has he been at such pains to rubbish their survey by saying there is, quote, no objective evidence of a problem when junior doctors reported making mistakes and falling asleep driving home from work exhausted after long hours?
The Honourable Dr Jonathan Coleman.
Well, look, I think we've got a very hard-working junior doctor workforce, and I know the member would love to drag me into the centre of negotiations, but I think the common-sense approach would be actually just to let the strike play out and get both parties back to the negotiating table so we can continue to provide the very excellent health services that New Zealanders have the benefit of accessing.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Annette King.
Does he think the Prime Minister made an unfair comparison between the long hours junior doctors work dealing with life and death decisions and the comparison he made with the long hours that investment bankers work, shuffling money around?
The Honourable Dr Jonathan
No, the
Coleman.
member's misrepresenting what the Prime Minister said. He said that all young people in professions work long and hard hours in those first few years after graduation.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Annette King.
How can he claim all costs have been covered by the government funding when the health system has reached the stage where we have some DHBs who couldn't cover the nurses' pay increase and are now trying to claw back penal rates from junior doctors who work unsociable hours? Isn't what he's been saying just spin and waffle?
The Honourable Dr Jonathan
No, that's
Coleman.
completely incorrect. If you look back at the record over the previous 7 years, and what's going to happen again this year, is that funding has actually been well ahead of the estimated pressures. So funding has kept up with all pressures, but of course we won't know until the end of the year what the inflation rate has been. It's very similar to the automatic savings that Labor demanded of DHBs of 0.5% of their total budget each year. This is pretty much in the same ballpark.
Question number 6,